Okay, today the prompt is fortune. And so it kind of got me on the vein of thinking about fortune telling. And then I started to think about omens and how you can kind of regard different animals you come across and different interesting like formations you come across out in nature as omens. So this picture is actually going to be a standing dead saguaro with some crows, and this is a solar eclipse. So I'll show you what that came from here. So this was the original photo that I took of the dead standing saguaro. And this is what I've turned it into. So this is what I'm planning to paint here. So I'm going to do this with just ink wash and maybe a little bit of line work with a dip pen. I haven't decided yet. I'm gonna kind of do this in a different order than I usually do. Usually I start with the darkest tones and then I work my way to the lightest tones. But I think this time I'm going to actually paint in a lot of the saguaro ribs with the midtones first. I think it'll be easier to paint the shadows in around that. We'll see. Okay, I'm cracking up because I had this like grand plan, and then the minute I got started, I just completely did whatever. So I just realized, like, you know, it's funny, sometimes you realize like there's a reason you do things in the order you do, and if you try to deviate from that, it just doesn't work because you already tried that before and you know it doesn't work. So I went in and I did the masking fluid for this tree that's in front here. Just because like parts of the tree are white and it's like lit up by the sun in some ways, and it's kind of weird. So I decided to just do that masking fluid, and I'll come back and do that later. This all is the ribs for the dead saguaro, and I wanted like the texture and more precision that would come from doing that with a dip pen. And then the birds, I'm gonna mostly still fill them in with paint, just because I like the look of paint on the birds. I think it's gonna make more sense on them. But I needed to get like the little tiny details, like the beaks and whatnot, to be correct. So it just wasn't gonna work with the paintbrush, so. All right, so you can see I definitely should have used masking fluid on the sun. So once this dries and I erase like the pencil marks and things, I'm gonna go in with the white pen, this one, and just clean up the edges on that. It's, you know, hindsight is 20/20. And then I'm gonna go in and clean up the crows a little bit, and they all have like little bits of masking fluid on their eyes, except this one I already took it off, but I still need to clean that up anyway. And then after all of that is done, I will go to the tree here and add that in. And then I should be about finished. So I think the wet on wet technique really did a pretty good job of making the clouds look like they did in the image, which is neat because I really wanted them in there. Oh, and after I get that sun done, I'm going to go in and put the little bit of clouds over the sun too that were supposed to be there. So yeah. This one was fun. I really like how this one turned out. It's the kind of thing that I wish I could actually have like a real photograph of that happening. But I don't know if like being there would be bad luck. I don't know. Yeah, you can see here that I put some white paint within the sun. Yeah, my like wet on wet technique kind of covered up too much of the white in the sun, I thought, and it wasn't bright enough. So